What's going on, my good people? Mike Hidalgo here, and thank you for joining me on another FCP Euro DIY. Today, we're working on a 1988 Porsche 911. Today on the Carrera behind me, we are going to be covering how to do an oil cooler replacement. You'll see we have a whole slew of parts here on the table, and these are all parts that are available on FCPEuro.com. Today's focus, though, is going to be strictly on the CSF upgraded cooler with our oil cooler kit, which we have on the site. We are dropping the engine on this car. That's going to be its own video on how to drop and install again with the transmission attached. So be sure to check out that video. It will be linked in the video description below so that you can get to the point of replacing and or servicing your cooler. So today we're going to go with this upgraded CSF kit, which we have on the site. You can also go OE, of course, and just replace seals, but we figured while doing this job, upgrading it is going to be the way, and maybe we'll tackle a couple other seals that are by our cooler as we get to that job. So be sure to stay tuned throughout the whole DIY to make sure you have everything you need to do this at home. But before we get started, let's take a look at some of the tools that we're going to need for this DIY. For this DIY, we're going to be using a torque wrench. We have a 3/8 drive ratchet as well as the electric counterpart. We have a 6-inch and 3-inch extension. We're probably going to combine them with the 13 for some of the oil cooler bolts. We also have a 10 mil socket, small magnet tool, just in case. We have a small Scotch-Brite pad, should we need it to clean any surfaces, although I don't believe so, but just as insurance. Then we have a larger set of Knipex adjustable pliers. With that, some shop towels and brake cleaner are going to go a long way. Let's go ahead and get started. Continuing out with our engine out saga, it's time to get this old tired oil cooler out. And you might be thinking, Mike, it looks good. That's because I cleaned it. I cleaned this whole engine as best as I could before we got into it, just to give us a better working experience. So this thing's leaky, the seals are bad, and it's outdated. So it's time to upgrade it with the CSF unit. We have 4 10 mils on the back here. I'm gonna remove some tin to get started. So we'll start with the back. And we're gonna separate this rear 10 piece. We're going to separate this from this harness. The harness you can just literally pop up, and then this little guy just keys off from this center piece here. So this will come out, and we'll set this baby to the side. We'll come back to this piece. We have another piece of tin here on the side to remove, so let's get that baby off now. With the tin off, I'm just going to pull this spark plug wire boot now. Get that out of our way, set that baby back there. We have a 10 mil right up here. Let's zap this out. This is below our fuel pressure regulator. And we have one more tucked away right here. Let's get that baby out. And with that one out, we have one more buried behind here, kind of underneath our air box. So we'll get that one next. For that inside one, we're gonna zap out the air box. It's only 5 10 millimeter screws. So let's get those baby out of there. With that out of the way, top nuts, these are 2 13s. We'll get to these 2 and then 2 more at the bottom, and this baby should come out. We have 2 more on the bottom. This will be a little bit trickier to see, but just take my word for them. We're gonna go in directly where the bottom line feeds to, right above the heat exchanger with our extensions, and we should be able to tackle those 2 bottom 13s. And of course, like anything oil related, be prepared for oil to spill out of it. We'll get a pig mat in place before we pull it apart from the block, just to catch any potential oil. All right, this baby pretty much just separated itself from the block. Pull it off the rest of the way. Oh yeah. You'll notice we have a total of 3 seals back here, larger one on the bottom, 2 similar diameters on the top, which is why we have 3 seals with our new kit. One of them stayed behind here on the block. We'll pull that baby out. Surprisingly, these are not totally rock hard yet, but we're going to take this opportunity to clean this area up a little bit, get some of that old oil out, obviously introduce nothing into the opening, so you can put some shop towels in there if you're going to get crazy with chemicals. I'm just going to wipe everything down with a little bit of brake clean on a towel, and then we will pick it up with our new CSF goodness ready to go in. All right, after a quick glove change, it is time now to get our new CSF unit on the engine. We're gonna pull off the old, well, new to us, but these are little old protective plugs that help keep this thing nice and fresh, so no debris gets in here.
This is ready to rock. We have our new gaskets, 2 smaller ones, obviously go up top. Those are the 2 smaller ports. These babies are just gonna sit in like so. And the larger gasket goes on the bottom. Then this baby can go on. Slide it onto the studs. So we have our cooler on. Make sure it seats itself nicely. If it's uneven between the block and the cooler, then your gaskets are not seating in either the channel on the block or the cooler, and you're gonna have a leak. So as long as it's nice and flush without any extreme pressure, you're gonna be good to rock. We have 4 new wave crush washers supplied by the good people over at CSF. We have our nuts nice and cleaned up. We're gonna get those just started up top here by hand so it can hold everything in place. The bottom ones will be a little bit more tricky, but we should be able to get them still. All right, with this baby all cleaned up, it can go back on. So we're gonna feed this back on over. With our cowl back on, our little duct, we're gonna get our 4 10mm bolts back in. Before we put the tin back on, we are gonna thread it in our neck for our oil line. So we have 2 different styles. One is threaded on both ends, and then we have this one that is just for the clamp and hose situation. So we'll get that baby fed in, and then we're gonna grab some large adjustables and just snug it down enough to crush the crush washer. Tin's gonna go back on. We're gonna key that baby onto the front portion. Get one of these 10 mils in here just to hold it up. This little end is gonna key into the little nub here. And we'll tuck in our harness. This holds the wires for our engine starter. We're gonna tuck the little grommet back on the lip of the metal tin here. All right, my good people. And with that, we officially have a new updated CSF oil cooler installed in our 3.2 liter. Overall, a really straightforward DIY when the engine is out of the car. Again, this is one of the many jobs we recommend you tackle, whether you're replacing or taking out the old one and ultrasonic cleaning it, whatever you may do to keep your 911 on the road. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments on what we did today, or have any tips or tricks for the other good people at home doing something similar, leave those in the comment section below. And if you like this video and you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. It's free. We make new ones almost every single day. And hopefully you learn a thing or two from them. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.